1 week from today, Albert, give me the number of coaching vacancies we will be talking about 1 week from this conversation.
6 or 7. I have to actually like go through them. But I would say, you obviously
we got 3 open now. So you're saying only
the Jets.
Okay.
The Jets, the Saints, the Bears. The Jags, I think, will be open.
You do.
The Cowboys are iffy. The Cowboys, I think here's what my belief on the Cowboys is: if McCarthy still had years on his contract, they would go forward with him. I think they're that impressed with the job that he's done. The problem is they have to drop an entirely new contract to bring him back. And not only that, I don't know how many people know this, but virtually every assistant on his staff is up too. So they would basically have to redo contracts for everyone on his staff. So, do they bring that all back? Do they commit to McCarthy for another 4 or 5 years? I think that one's still up in the air. I have a hard time making a call on that one. I think the Raiders, there's a good chance that one will be open. So that would put you right at 6. Who am I missing here, Rich? Help me out.
Patriots, Albert?
I think the Patriots. So I don't think Robert. Oh, and the Giants would be the other one. So we'll go through those two.
Please.
The Patriots, to me, Robert Kraft does not want to fire Gerard Mayo. I don't think they want to be that franchise that's acting in that sort of scattershot way. That said, that was an ugly, ugly, ugly game on Saturday. There is a coach out there who will be the belle of the ball, Mike Vrabel, who is probably going to be available only this 1 year. And I think if you think you can get him, then you have to think about it. I do feel like Gerard is going to be judged on a few different things. Number one, are the players still playing hard for him? We'll see Sunday, because that didn't look great on Saturday. Number two, has he shown that he can effectively manage his staff? That's, we'll see. And then 3, is there some direction for his program? So I think all of that will be assessed. I think they want to bring him back for a second year, maybe with some additions to his coaching staff to add some experience on both sides of the ball. And then the Giants, to me, are the real wild card here. I don't think that Joe Shane and Brian Daboll's futures are inextricably tied. I think they'll be judged separately. I do think over the next week, John Mara will sit down with both guys to talk about the plan going forward, and where they are going forward. Again, I look at them as one of these where it's okay. We feel like we've got a pretty good core of young players here to build around, but this thing fell apart at the end. Is there a way to dig it out? And, again, I think Mara's sort of like Kraft in this way. He does not want to be the franchise that keeps turning things over. And they had 3 straight coaches that were 2 and done. And this is only 3 years for Brian Daboll and Joe Shane. So do you want to do that? They're another sneaky Vrabel team. I'd throw the Raiders in there. A lot of people think he's going to the Raiders, but the Giants, I think, would be a sneaky Vrabel team as well, just because his general manager, I think his pick for general manager is already in-house there in Ryan Cowden, who he's with in Tennessee, and his defensive coordinator's on staff there in Shane Bowen. So I think Vrabel kind of hovers over a few of these different jobs out there. And, the Giants, I think, certainly have some decisions to make. Again, I think both the Patriots and Giants are in that boat where the owners want to see it through. But I think both owners are going to have to, get the plan going forward and really believe in that plan to go forward with the guys who they have now.
What about the Colts, Albert? Is there any there? Because if Irsay and company are looking outside of the building, a very loud voice from inside the city of Indianapolis, and Pat McAfee is all in. He's putting a lot of laundry out there, and Pat's got a monster megaphone, as we know. Is there anything there?
Yeah, well, I would definitely take into account what Pat's saying. I think the stuff on Anthony Richardson is without question something that you have to pay attention to. Look, they felt like they had to do a lot to get him on track, and they felt like they did. Is the progress there to the point where you wouldn't add another person to that room at the very least that could compete with him for the job in 2025, and you're sort of effectively taking him off a scholarship, right? And saying, now you got to go and win it. I think that's an open question. I would say the people I've talked to, it sounds more like general manager might be a question there rather than coach. I do think they really like Shane Steichen. I think Chris Ballard on balance has done a pretty good job there, but he's had 8 years and they've only been in the playoffs twice. So, do they look at it and say, okay, Shane Steichen, you can bring in your own guy. Do you bring in, maybe somebody like Ian Cunningham from Chicago, who you were with in Philadelphia, and we build it around the two of you? I think there are a lot of those sorts of discussions happening right now. Now, again, like I would say Indianapolis and Miami are the two where I think the coaches are relatively safe, but the general managers might be, uh, there might be some discussions about the future of the general manager in this place.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku Channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.